Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not. No.
Long live Ag.
Yeah.
How you saw?
These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button and then dress too par. Now they can't test the guards, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then. We thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off. Told them don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's never about who's your favorite. Took my insecurities and made my future more secure. The way we moving, it's like we really been here before. The proof is in the progress from the year before. Furthermore, we wanted to further things more. They took another route, so what you think we kings for? No angel ever said, yo, who these wings for? Ain't no champion ever said, who these rings for? So don't question what God doing, who you live for. Start accepting who you are and what you do it for. Doing less, doing more, it's really either or. Meet them halfway when one close, here go another door. Here go your dreams, what you running for? Head full of steam.
Rather be alone in my zone writing poems. When I get in, I take a shower, read a book and feel empowered. Smoking on that sour got me counting down the hours, thinking of all the shit that they could do but won't allow us. Then I realize they all some fucking cowards. The world is ours. Me and my brother twin like the towers, and we want it now, never later. No more favors done with all these traitors who be haters on the low. They just hate to see you grow, so I'd rather be alone in my zone writing poems, cause I'm never on the road. And I'd rather stay at home, man. Life been moving fast lately, trying to get a grasp, and every day I'm mad lately. Never let it drive me crazy, you do this for my old lady, yeah.
They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. So let us breathe in.
See, ain't shit changed, but a bunch of people feel us. Reaching for the top, and now I ain't got no ceilings. Pour me up a cup or two so it could stop the bleeding. Roll me up a split or two, and now I'm hella weeded, cause I'm feeling like I want it, but I don't know if I need it. Took a few L's, but that nigga undefeated. Same shit, different day, why this so repeated? If we don't talk no more, it's probably cause I felt mistreated. Bad enough I don't hear excuses, trust me you could keep it. Saw it coming from a mile away once I peeped it. Caught up in that drama, mama, I don't get between it. They be trying to turn it on you, damn they really tweaking.
We broke, but we wealthy in ability.
Hey y'all,
bitch, no, we only need the brokerage. We only overage, overseeing all the dope shit.
We gonna get him today, y'all.
Killing these cats with they facilities. Flush down the drain, eating through all 8 lives till that become they centerpiece. Unfold and be a masterpiece at half of all our faculties. We actually dope, we just don't know that half of it.
Just don't know that half of it.
They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. So let us breathe in.
Hey, y'all. So, what's good, everybody? Hey, smash the like button. Smash the like button, y'all. Please smash the like button. We got 34 watching. That's cool. I've been out for a few days, too, if you haven't noticed. But today, I pulled over like 400 treaties, literally. And I like to download stuff before I talk about them. So I downloaded all those damn treaties, all of them. It's mad treaties. And today, because I'm in Connecticut, I want to go over the Hartford, the Treaty of Hartford. I'm gonna start with them. I'm gonna do other states too, but it's just so disgusting how they went about hiding our identity, and it's just terrible, 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 to the point where they made our ancestors. They threatened them. They literally, this shit is very, very real. Our ancestors. And the thing about it, it was other tribes that, seriously, y'all keep putting this story on white Europeans, and you have got to stop. I'm not saying they ain't participate, but the majority of the people were our people. We still to this day don't love each other right, just like back then. I swear to you. And the more you read this shit, the more you read about our history, the more it hurts your heart, because when you read it, when you're reading about our history, and literally, and this is a lot of reasons why I think that they don't want to teach it in history school books and history period, is because the majority of the pain came from our own people, our own leaders. And everybody wants to, when you're reading it, and one thing you can't hide is energy. You can't hide energy. You can't, because energy is something you feel. Let's just put that out there. And when you're reading and about our history, and you feel the bloodline, you know it, you feel it. But what happens when you're reading about our history, you become in denial. You literally do. The shit that I'm reading, I can't deny it. It hurts like hell. It hurts for me to say. And this really does. It's a damn dagger. It's the real dagger. It's the real pierced feeling from a two-edged sword. Seriously. And you know, by comparison, after I read this and show you things, I'm starting with my state. I'm starting with Connecticut. It's more painful when you learn that all this time in history, we literally felt that it was white Europeans that took our asses down and put us in chains. The more you read in history, it was us. It was us. And you feel that shit when you read it. I'm telling you. And it makes you hurt. And I just, the way we act on YouTube, whether we're mulatto, you see the reactions now. You see it on YouTube. Our people did this to us. The majority. We were in power during these times and during these wars. That's why they don't like to discuss the Indian Wars, period. Because then you're going to know it's you. It was you. And that's the denial that stings. And I'm telling you, just like, you know, I always say this for a minute. Please, y'all, you have got, when you're reading when you're reading in the 1600s, the early 1600s, 1500s, when you're reading literature about our history, please, for the sake of getting a better understanding of how fucked up our people were back then, like they are today, please, I'm asking you, put the white man aside. For real. Put him aside. Because what we're doing now, even today, is fucked up towards each other. We don't have respect for each other. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to love each other. We can't stand each other. We're male chauvinist men. You got men hating women that building coalitions against our men. This behavior is not new behavior. This behavior that we exercise in YouTube is not new behavior. If we are ugly today in YouTube, you better damn it believe we were 10 times ugly back then, to the point where the wars against our own people and who we allied with as a people to take all the ugly, I guess back then they called themselves taking all the ugliness of our people down. People might not want to hear this shit. You might not want to hear it. But one thing I'm not going to do is deny the truth. I'm not going to deny the truth, because if you deny the truth, you're never going to get to what you need to understand. And I'm not denying the truth. I'm not going to sit up here on YouTube and say that we are a humble and loving and welcoming people, because we fucking wasn't. We wasn't. A lot of our ancestors, and which I can't blame them even today, did not want foreigners over here like that. And that's a fact. And some of us that was the roughneck niggas, we didn't play it. We fought until massive murders took place. Seriously, back in the 1600s, we fought like a motherfucker. And that's the truth. We got tired of them coming here. And our people got tired. We were tired of each other, to the point where we did not even want to live in the same town as each other. So we began moving and picking up and jetting and going in other Indian territorial lands where they welcomed you and they understood why you were leaving your own particular town where you were occupying as Indians. And we moved into other Indian towns and became part of those tribes. That shit was really happening because we so wanted to get away from our chiefs and their management of our specific municipality. Our municipalities were our tribes. It was our land. And we got to understand this. These treaties that were made was with niggas. You ain't going to listen. You have got to know this. If it's the last thing you do tonight before you go to sleep, know this, because this is the first treaty I'm reading. Remember, there's over 500. I downloaded like 400. I got to go get more flash drives to download the rest. These treaties ain't no fucking joke. And these treaties were made with our people. And that's a fact. Seriously. These treaties that were made with our people back in these days, this is how you know the Indian you are. That's why I downloaded all this shit. Because if you're making a treaty with a specific Indian tribe back in the day, in those days, in those times, and I'm talking 16, 17, and 1800s, you're making treaties with state governments and governments. back in those days. Listen, if you lived in that town, in that municipality, it was before it was even a municipality, it was a town, basically our tribal towns, area lands. These damn treaties were made, and we have census sheets with your asses living in those very towns where the treaties were made, and it was kept from you. And when they warred and kicked you off your land, you were the Indian being kicked off that land. And you better believe me when I tell you, when I say that our own people had something to do with us saying not being able, once they took your town over, you were not allowed to say what the Indian you were. You were not allowed to say it. You were not. If you wanted to come in the corporation back then, you were not allowed to say it. And I'm starting with my state. I'm starting with the Pequots. And this shit is very fucking real. And you better believe if they did that here in the North, they did it down south. They did the same thing down south. When they conquered your specific municipality in the South, you were not allowed to say you were an Indian when they enslaved your ass. The rebellious ones, they slaved quick. The rebellious Indians, and I'm talking Negroes, because that's all that was there to enslave was the Indians. When they took the land, they enslaved it. You became enslaved. I'm serious. This shit is very real. They started in the North first until they got that shit straight. And Andrew Jackson's ass is a mulatto. Listen, y'all. I made some slides up. I'm going to read through the Treaty of Hartford. And you better believe, because the same people that did the shit here in the northern states, they did it down south. That's how they won. They did the same thing here. Everything they did here in the north, they did it in the south. And they were able to successfully do it because they had all the niggas from the north to help them. And that's why there's such a horrible relationship between the north and the south. Why our brothers, and this is deep hatred, why our brothers in the north don't get along and have a hard time with our brothers in the south. The northern tribes always thought lowly of the southern tribes. And that's a fact. And that shit it shows today. I swear it does. I'm trying to think, because I sit here and say, where does the dislove, why is there such dislove between the north and the south when it comes to our people? I just couldn't understand it until I learned about our history. I couldn't understand it, but now I understand it. That shit is deep. It really is. And see, me, I love the South. And I love Southern morals. And I love the way Southerners talk, my Southern brothers and sisters. There's nothing about my Southern brothers and sisters that I dislike. I can't wait to retire and move to South because I love their hospitality. I've been in the North all my life, and I just can't understand. Now I understand why there's so much enmity between the Northern brothers and our Southern brothers. And that shit got to be checked at the door. I don't know if there was a time we ever loved each other. And if we did, when? It was always the North against the South. If you really look at history, even in the school books, they always talked about North against the South, North against the South, North against the South. But, you know, being a young kid and a young woman, when you hear North against the South, North against the South, my psychological mind, because I didn't know about our history, my psychological mind, when I heard North against the South, North against the South, I always thought it was white men against white men in the South, the whites in power in the South against the whites in power in the North. That's where my brain was. Not once have I ever thought the deep root of it was our people against the South. Coming north, and the further you go north, we are accustomed to mulattoes. Mulatto, it's natural for us to see mulattoes. It's natural here in the north. It's deeply and spiritually accepted. Our bloodline is our bloodline. So we don't see mulattoes in the north different. See, I was raised into a mulatto society, and I'm culturally. So we don't see them different, but the South does, because a lot of our brothers and sisters in the South are predominantly full-blooded Indians in the South, and that's a fact. So it's harder for them to relate to a mixed child more so than it is in the North. Me, it looks natural and normal to me. Very normal. It's okay, so what? It's nothing. And this is what I've been accustomed to, being in the North, raised with Southern morals all my life. It's nothing. It's the same. We don't see mulattoes as different people from us. We don't in the North. That's the way I was raised. Now, my grandmother, my grandmother, my family came to the North in 1929. That's when my family left the South. They were forced to leave their home. They had to get out, or they was going to get killed. So they left the South and came straight to Connecticut. And we've been here ever since. Well, everybody's gone and back in the South now. But from 1929, all the way up until now, I've been here, my blood. We've been here. But prior to that, it was all South for us, and just South Carolina. No other part. But now family moved different parts of the South. But from 1929 up until now, including this date, I am a Northern woman, a Northern Indian. Not from the Indians of the North. I'm an Indian from the South by bloodline lineage. But I'm severely accustomed to the North. And things that I see normal in my eyes, a lot of people in the South, I'm learning, it doesn't resonate with them. And it is true. A lot of us, whether you Indian look like me or mulatto Indian, a lot of them think the South is slow, which is fucking insane to me. I think opposite. But I did grow up hearing that. The North always made fun of the way Southerners spoke. Indians spoke in the South, and our people act in the South. Me, I absolutely loved it. But I do now recall hearing they think people are, and this is even in the 80s and 90s. I've heard Negroes from the hood say, God, they become country motherfuckers. Look at them. And that is a cruel thing to say. It's terrible. I heard that a lot, but it never sparked me any other way. But I know it wasn't nice because it's just niggas is so hood here in the North, and wow. Now we got wild ones down South, but it's like, how can you? They're so used to being ugly towards each other, like here in the North. They're so used to being ugly and mean towards each other that when they see their brother from the South show hospitality, they don't know how to accept it because they've been so evil and mean. That's the way I see it. I'm just calling it how I see it. I mean, if a Southern brother comes down here and say to you, "What up there, homie?" and then you look like, "Fucking nigga talking about some, what up there, homie?" That's rude. That's fucking rude. It is. And I hear that. It's rude as fuck. That's because they're so used to being treated ugly that they don't know how to accept love. You ever heard of the saying that when somebody shows you love, you don't know how to accept it because for so long you've been treated so cruel that when love comes to you in front of your face, you don't know how to accept it because you don't know what it is. And that's true. That shit is very true. Even in relationships, you can show somebody some massive love and steadfast, unconditional love. But the arrogant person in a relationship does not know how to accept it. They don't know what that shit is. They think it's corny and crazy. Fuck that. I accept love. But that's how it is with the North and the South. It's just terrible. And I just pray that one day it gets fixed. But it's difficult because look what the North did to the South. The North did a number on the South. A number. They denationalized, derecognized just every fucking Indian in the South. You see, they do it with one tribe, two tribes, but they denounced and derecognized every fucking Indian that they conquered in the South. And that's a fact. That's horrific. That's horrific. All those thousands of Indians that are in the South with the names that you don't even hear. The North wiped them out. Not killing, killed a lot, but those thousands and thousands of Indians that lived, they were not allowed to say what Indian they were. That was a war word. That was a death word. If you said the Indian, you weren't allowed to do that after they conquered you. That's a fact. And we're going to read about it because they did all this same shit here in the North to the Indians in the North. There's not that many Indian tribes recognized in Connecticut. Matter of fact, guess what? It's really two major ones, Foxwoods and Mohegans. But there's other ones that's recognized by the state. Seriously, the shit the North did to the South is just unbearable. So I can understand from that perspective our brothers and sisters in South attitudes and non-trust towards niggas from the North. And you know what? Listen, y'all, listen. It's not the white guy in the North that our Southern brothers and sisters can't relate real good with. It's the niggas, because guess what? It's the niggas that did it. It's the niggas that came, and now I see, I'm like, oh, because see, in my head, because society put in my head that, oh, a whole bunch of white soldiers marched down south and did all this shit. Because that's what's in my head from the media, from the news, from school, from like, it was just all white guys that went on. No. Let's pay attention to who our Southern brothers and sisters got the issues with. It's the niggas in the North, because that's who the fuck marched down there and did this shit. And we got to listen. You don't have to accept it, but you can't reject it because that shit gonna smack you in the face every time you read your history. And you're gonna find out that niggas marched down there and did this shit to their brethren in the South. You ain't got to accept it. But you can't reject it because every time you read our history and you really read and you really read and you really read, it was the niggas in the North that went down there, led by mulatto leaders. We did this to each other with the help of foreigners. We did this shit. This is why I believe. Now I see why they don't want to teach this shit because it's fucking insane when you learn it was you the whole fucking time. I don't know how y'all feel about this. Give me a 1 if you can understand this because I'm going to read it just so you'll know. I'm going to read this treaty so you'll know. So you will know. These treaties clearly identify where you're at, what Indian your ass was. All of them do. Because I got all of them. In all the different states. And these treaties are going to let you know the Indian you are. Because if you're making a treaty for a specific area in the North American mainland landmass, you're doing a treaty. It wasn't a one-on-one treaty. It was for a whole fucking area. And if you was in that area at that time of that treaty, sorry, that's the Indian you were in the South and the North. Oh, am I telling you? I'm telling you I know what I'm talking about. See, y'all thought it was just the census sheets that you needed to look at to see where and what Indian you were. Didn't you know? It's the motherfucking treaty. That's why I said, y'all, we ain't got to boast. We ain't got to blow our balls up or nothing. All the shit is in your face. All you got to do is breathe. Relax. Go back in history and find the documentation that's going to say, you're this fucking Indian because it's the treaty, baby. Even if we didn't have census sheets, we got all the motherfucking treaties, all the treaties where you lived at during that making of that treaty. Boom, there you are. Don't fucking play with me. I might have been in YouTube now for 4 years, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm the paperwork queen. You better ask the state of Connecticut. Matter of fact, call up Governor Ned Lamont right now and ask him, is Sister Bethy the motherfucking paper queen? Research queen. You better ask somebody. Matter of fact, ask the former governor too. His name is Dan Malloy. And you better motherfucking believe, because the North ruled on how and what shape and form the South was going to be in because of the warring and fighting, you better believe they got the motherfucking paperwork and copies of the treaties. Every state got the treaties. And when you read them treaties, listen, the treaties is with the white folks and the niggas, because there ain't nobody else. But if you want to put it in modern day terminologies, let's do it. When them treaties was being made, it was with white folks, Europeans, the English, the colonizers, and black folks. Bottom line, there was no other people, beings here but white folks and black folks. So let's just put that out there. White folks ain't making treaty with white folks here in North American landmass. Let's just put that out there. Ain't no fucking green people walking around this bitch. If it is, They got to go. Ain't no purple people. It's just brown people and white people. Okay? Now the wars, we got to look at ourselves. This is why they don't want to teach it in school, because then you're really going to know. And it's painful. It's hurtful to know what we did to our own people along with the colonizers. Don't blame the little colonizer. Wasn't that many of them here. It was us doing this shit to us. I got slides today, and we're going to go through them. And we're going to break this shit down together, y'all. Smash the like button. We're going to break it down together, okay? As we're going along, we're going to break it down, and I'm going to stop and talk and point shit out so you can see, because you see our history through the treaties. Smash the like button, y'all. Let me get the share screen going here. Smash the like button. Let me get the document up. I think this is it. Wait a minute. I got too much shit open. Let me close. Hold up, y'all. Give me a minute, y'all, baby cakes. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Close some of this stuff up. I got to close some of it. It's too much open. Too much. Oh, we're going to go. Where is it? There it is. Okay, got it. Now, share screen. All right, y'all. I need y'all to clear your head. Y'all got your copy. Y'all got your coffee or tea or whatever, because we're going to break this shit down, and you're going to see. What I'm reading now is the Treaty of Hartford, okay? Treaty of Hartford. And I'm going to, I know I read about the Pequots before, but they were the one that was really fucked up. And when you read the treaties, a lot of them are like, and you're going to know, oh my God. All right, so let's go, y'all. I'm starting because Connecticut is the state that I'm in. Let's take it from the beginning. All right. So we're at the Treaty of Hartford, and I'm going to be smoking my cigarette. I don't care if y'all don't like it. Okay, so we have the Treaty of Hartford, right? In 1638. Let's go, y'all. All I did was copy and paste a lot of shit. Come on, let's go. Why is my thing not going? Hey. What's going on here? Something's not right. That's weird. Let's start here. All right. From the beginning. From the beginning. I don't know why this is going. What the hell going on? All right, something's not right. Now, this never happens with my slides. I don't know why that's there. All right, let me get that off. Maybe that'll help it. All right, here we go. I don't know what that was about. All right. Oh, shit, I forgot to do the goddamn share screen. This is just crazy. They don't want me to get this out? Is that what it is? All right, let's go. Share screen. They don't want me to get this out. It's going out. All right, here we go, y'all. Should work now. Yep, there we go. All right, so the map of Hartford. Okay, they're saying now this shit just like throw up a lot of doorbells. They're saying Hartford was founded in 1636, incorporated 1784. Now, y'all know when I read to y'all about all the states being entered into the damn corporation. But anyway, showing early landmarks and the association locations of historical events. All right. I know this map all too well. Now let's I'm gonna do some reading. It's not a whole lot of reading, but it's enough. But I want you to pay close attention, okay? In 1639, delegates from the major sovereignties. Okay, let me start again. In 1639, delegates from the major sovereignties of the Connecticut region met in a small English settlement along the Connecticut River. The reason for the meeting was to sign a treaty ending the war that had raged in the area for the last 2 years. The parties involved the English, the Mohegans, and the Narragansetts. They signed the damn treaty. And you better believe them Mohegans and them Narragansetts was some niggers. I'm about to show you. 1600s, we're talking. Signed the treaty, whose title bore the name of the settlement. It was signed in Hartford. Yet there was one party missing from the treaty, the Pequots, who lost the war and who would suffer under the strict regulation placed upon them by the Treaty of Hartford. Niggas did this. I'm telling you, y'all, listen. The Pequot tribe had dominated the Connecticut region before the English had set foot in the valley. Yet after losing the war to the combined English, Mohegan, and Narragansett alliance, the remainder of the tribe was either scattered or sold to slavery. In this essay, I will discuss the background, the terms, and the aftermath of the Treaty of Hartford, with an emphasis on the Pequots and the punishments that they suffered. Now we're talking 1633. The only European claim to the region was a small fort along the Park River. Do y'all hear this? I'm telling you, this is what I told Ali Bamu. These motherfuckers came here. They only had a little small piece of the land. I'm going to read that again. Pay attention. This is how it was for them and all the states. In 1633, the only European claim to the region was a small fort along the Park River, also known as the Hog River, and what is today the city of Hartford. While today the river is hidden from view, buried underneath modern-day Hartford, the river used to run parallel to the mighty Connecticut River. This fort, called Highs de Hoop, also known as Fort Good Hope, garrisoned 15 men. The purpose of this fort was to serve as a trading post for the exchange of European goods for Indian wampum. The Dutch had found that these beads and jewelry were like that of currency and could be traded for furs and special resources with other Indian groups. In order to do this, the Pequot granted the Dutch the land along what is today the Park River to trade with the northern tribes and the Pequot alike. Listen, pay attention. The English arrived shortly after in 1634. They settled across the Park River, adjacent to the Fort Good Hope. The settlers, having sailed from England, named this settlement after their far home, Hartford. That's how they got their name. The colony, despite the lack of charter or land agreement, began setting up smaller settlements along the river and broke away from the Massachusetts Bay Colony, forming the Connecticut River Colony, again, despite its legality. The Indian groups in the region had little said in the matter. The Connecticut River Valley Indians were paying tribute to the Pequots, who, as mentioned before, were the main power in the area. They were. The Mohegans and the Narragansetts were powerful neighbors to the Pequots. The Mohegan were in the north, and the Narragansett were in modern-day Rhode Island. Both tribes had their own displeasures with the militarily dominant Pequot. Pequots was no fucking joke. Them niggas was no joke. The Mohegans had a long history of conflict deriving from when the original Pequots had broken away from their tribe. Because now the Pequots, right? It was the Pequots solely. There was no Mohegans. When they broke away, they became the Mohegans gave themselves that name. It was just originally Pequots running this shit here. And Hartford, the Pequots. It was the Pequots. This whole territory, yo. And then they began, like niggas do, don't talk to each other and shit. And they became the Mohegans. Separated themselves. Let's go. This is a map of southern Connecticut and Rhode Island showing the area of the Pequot War in 1636 and 1638 between the Allied Massachusetts, okay, and the Plymouth colonies against the Pequot tribe. The map shows the territories of the Mohegans, Narragansetts, and Pequots, the English settlements at that time, and the route of the campaign, 1637, of Captain John Mason from Fort Saybrook up the coast to Wickford, Rhode Island, then overland to the Pequot Fort on the Mystic River, site of the Mystic Massacre. Listen, y'all. These was niggas fighting niggas. I'm telling you. While the Pequots were not pleased with the New England settlers, there seemed to be no real disagreement or conflict between the two. That is, until the Massachusetts Bay Colony raided one of their villages. In a personal interview with historian and researcher for the Mashantucket Pequot Museum on April 18, 2019, David Namek shared with me the events of the meeting and how the war was escalated from the point of view of the Pequots. In retaliation for the allegedly murders, John Oldham and Captain Stone, the Massachusetts Bay Company sent out a small expedition to confront the Pequot living on Block Island. This was just an extortion mission rather than a party seeking justice, and the Indians knew this. The Pequots met the English on the beach and began to converse with them in a friendly manner. Meanwhile, the village was being evacuated and the valuable resources were being stashed. When conflict did arise, the English, enraged by their lack of plunder, set fire to the village and held a small skirmish with the retreating Indians. What followed was a bloody conflict that caused the death of many Europeans and Indians alike, with almost extermination of an entire culture. This is a drawing of the attack led by Colonial John Endicott on the Indians of Block Island. While the accuracy of this image is questionable, considering that records state that there was a long, amicable discussion before there was any conflict. It is still an interesting deception. Yeah, you don't want them, know them niggas fighting niggas. So the war escalates. The Pequot War began with skirmishes between the Pequot and members of the Massachusetts Bay Colony at the base of the Connecticut River, which is now Osabrook. The Pequot then attacked the Connecticut Valley settlement with a series of small but effective raids. In retaliation, the Connecticut colonies aligned themselves with the River Valley Indians and the Mohegan, and furthermore set off on a military expedition made up of militiamen. These English soldiers sailed towards the Narragansett tribe and convinced them to join their alliance. They got these niggas to join them. The English. They got the Narragansett, them niggas. And I'm going to show you there was niggas first. Altogether, this now large force met at Mystic, where a large Pequot settlement was located, and attacked the fort rigorously. The English, in particular, slaughtered an estimated 700 Pequots, men, women, and children, before falling back after the arrival of a much superior Pequot force. The war raged on with the assistance of the Massachusetts militia, and the Pequot were defeated, most notably at what was later called the Great Swamp Fight, also known as Fairfield Swamp Fight, in 1637. And that's this little picture right here they made of how they entered. Here entered Captain Underhill. And then it got here the Indian Hauser. And here entered Captain Mogan. So now here we go. The end of the war. What happened with the Sachem chief of the Pequot, Sasaska? Now this is where the bullshit comes in. Talking about, now listen to this. What happened with the Sachem chief of the Pequot, Sasaskas is unclear due to the varying accounts of the period. Some claim that he traveled to the west to seek the help of the tribes in and around modern day New York. He did. He went to the limit. These sources claim that the Mohawk Indians massacred the Sachem's war party and delivered Sasaskas's head to Hartford. They did. They did do that. David Normick states that it was the Mohegan that killed him, though. This David is saying that the Mohegans killed him. But anyway, Normick also states that the discovery of Sasaskas's murder came about when some Indians were trading with a Massachusetts colony, and they claimed that they had the human remains of Sasaskas with them. In any case, because of the death of their leader, the remaining Pequots scattered around the Connecticut region, fleeing to their relatives in different tribes, such as the Narragansett and the Mohegans. Listen, y'all, and you're looking at the Pequots. Hello. Pequots. Fire, please. I'm not playing with nobody. These are the Pequots. And they're still here today. These are the owners of Foxwoods. Well, like I said, Connecticut, our state is very much, yes, we're accustomed to mulattoes. It's nothing. We look at the mulattoes no different than ourselves here in the North. We do. It doesn't mean anything. It's just love our blood. That's it. It means nothing here in Connecticut. We are the same. Foxwoods, do not play with me. Pequots. Beautiful. Fire, please. You can't even stop the damn fire. Don't stop the fire. Because these are people. Look at Big Mama in the middle. And look at Mama on the end with her pretty self. On both ends. Don't even play with me. As the war ended, the victorious parties met to discuss the fate of the Pequot tribe and their possessions. In accordance with the Treaty of Hartford, the Pequot tribe, now listen to this shit. This was written after this war. This is the treaty. Listen. In accordance with the Treaty of Hartford, the Pequot tribe was abolished and their tribal name banned by the English. I'm going to say that again. In accordance with the Treaty of Hartford, the Pequot tribe was abolished and their tribal name banned by the English. The captured remnants of the tribe, 200 men, women, and children, were forced to assimilate into the Mohegan and the Narragansett tribes. The rest were sold into slavery by the Englishmen. These was black folks who had captured them. The treaty text states, after they, the Pequots, shall be divided as aforesaid, shall no more be called Pequots, but Narragansetts and Mohegans. Furthermore, the English also stated, neither shall the Narragansetts nor Mohegans possess any part of the Pequot country without leave from the English. And it is always expected that the English captives are forthwith to be delivered to the English, such as belong to Connecticut, to the Sikems, there, and such as belong to the Massachusetts. The treaty cemented the right for the English. Listen to this shit, y'all. The treaty cemented the right for the English to become the sole justiciars in the regions, thus cementing the Connecticut River Valley colony's claim of legitimacy and sovereignty in the region. David Knox postulated that this was a play to set up the English as the pseudo-Sikems of the region in place of the Pequots. Listen! I'm going to read it again. The treaty cemented the right for the English to become the sole justiciars in the regions, thus cementing the Connecticut River Valley colony's claim of legitimacy and sovereignty in the region. David Knox postulated that this was a play to set up the English as the pseudo-Sikems of the region in place of the Pequots. They're running the fucking state in place. They took over the Pequots area to run it. Otherwise, we would have had the Pequots over us in Hartford. He said pseudo-Sikems. And there's the goddamn treaty. Page 1 and 2. Despite the lengths that which the English went to eradicate the Pequot culture and their claim in the area, the Pequots, under a young Sikem named Robin Casa Cinnamon reestablished themselves in their home and regained their ancestral name in 1666. Furthermore, the Pequots built a good relationship, listen to this, with the Connecticut government, even going as far as to fight alongside the English in King Philip's War in 1675. Now, y'all know King Philip name was really Metacom. King Philip is his English name that they gave him. The arrival of the English into the Connecticut River Valley in 1634 created the conditions to the establishment of what is today the state of Connecticut. Yet, along the way, the state and its capital made enemies of its neighbors and then friends of its enemies. Nevertheless, it is important to recognize that the tragic and blood-soaked beginning that helped the colony grow and prosper. The success of the colony of Connecticut was based on horrific wrong done to its original inhabitants. The original inhabitants were the Pequots, where nonetheless, it is important to remember how the state came to be and what was the real price of peace brought by the Treaty of Hartford. Pequot Indians, listen, y'all. Listen, because the exact same thing that happened down here, because it's the way they moved. This is the way they moved. Our own people. Pequot Indians share how they were forced to pretend to be black for their safety and survival. Pequots, I'm going to read it again, and you got to listen. Pequots, Indians, share how they were forced to pretend to be black for their safety and survival. Listen to the Pequot Indians share how they had to hide their identity and become black. You don't think you got these names in the South because of war? You better believe it. You got these identities because of war in the South that was imposed on us. You got Negro, Indian. You went from that. You couldn't say the Indian you were. So if you were a Yamasee, a PD, all that, you couldn't say it. You had to say you were black. Same shit happened here in the North. I'm telling you how this shit happened because it happened here first. Pequot Indians share how they had to hide their identity and become black. Did you not become black? Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Yes, you did. You had to say that. They are the tribe, and this is the shit. They had to hide and become black. And they are the tribe that greeted and fought the Pilgrims en masse. They are the tribe which owns Foxwood Casino in Connecticut and who President Trump calls the Michael Jordan Indians because of their blackness. They, the Pequot, tell you their names were switched in federal census in the attempts to strip them of their identity and land rights. I tell you, this shit is crazy. Let's set out a reminder. Fair use. Well, let's go, y'all. Now, on the left here, that's Michael Thomas. He's the former Foxwoods chief. He was the chief first. And now the current Foxwood chief is Rodney Butler. They're all related. All right. That's the current chief on the right, Rodney Butler. Michael Thomas was the former Foxwoods chief. Now we dive into it. These are the Narragansetts right here. Now, that's currently how the chief looks now. Now, take it back to, you see his Negro features. That's clearly obvious. The strong Negro features. Okay? Strong Negro features. It's clear. Give me a 1 if you see the strong Negro features in this Narragansett Indian man. Please give me a 1 so I can keep it moving. This is currently today, Rhode Island. Oh, I see them ones coming. I got people in my family look like him. Strong. The cute dimple in his chin. Now, all I want you to do, when we're talking Narragansett now up in Rhode Island, now here's what I want you to do. This is 2022, this photo. Now, take him back to 1635 during the war with the Pequots. Take it back. All you gonna see is niggas. Fire, please. Take it back to 1635. All niggas in there against it. Because now, this is the shit that I keep trying to tell y'all. Now, obviously this gorgeous man here is a mulatto. This chief of the Narragansett. It's clear he's a mulatto. Now, let's say that and he has his Negro features. Black features, Negro features. Negro and black mean the same thing. Spanish, you say negro. In English, you say black. Now, let's say you take away his Negro parent and give him a white parent. Would he be Indian? Would he be Indian if he had 2 white parents? Would he be a Narragansett Indian? Let's take away the ancestor that's white. And that's black. Let's take away the Negro ancestor and put a white ancestor there. Exactly. What makes you an Indian is that nigga blood. Negro. So he's half blood. He's half blood. Because they clearly, one of his parents is probably English, or, from England. And one might be white and one, white might be Negro. So he's Indian. Wow. How did he become an Indian? Because the foreign person slept with his Negro parent. Now, that's half blood. One parent black, one parent white. That's half blood. And that's what he is. He's a brother. He's a mulatto. Bottom line. But when you go back to 1635, baby, those was all niggas in that Narragansett tribe. The chief of a New England tribe who spends part of the year living in Florida won't step down after being impeached, sowing division among the Narragansett Indians, who are Rhode Island's only federally recognized tribe. Chief Succumb Matthew Thomas is calling his detractors imposters after they sued him in federal court seeking his ouster from the leadership role he's held for nearly 2 decades. That's 20 years. Dozens of tribal members gathered from an outdoor meeting to impeach the 55-year-old chief in October when he refused to surrender his position. An elected tribal council sued him last month. His residency has been a tribal controversy for more than a year. State voter records show his Rhode Island voter registration was canceled in March 2015 because he moved out of state. Thomas said in an interview that the time he spends in his Port Charlotte, Florida, isn't a problem because he monitors tribal business remotely and maintains a residence in Providence. Now, Charles Henry Matthews, these are all mulattoes here. All mulattoes. Charles Henry Matthews, Mohegan. He's a Mohegan. These are the ones that separated themselves from the Pequots. These are Mohegans. They're the ones who separated themselves. They're mulattoes. Charles Henry Matthews. The first 2 pictures are the same 2 people. Negro features. And then Delana Matthews, ski socks, born in 1849. Charles was born in 1851. And then her son, Roscoe Jerome Ski Sucks. Roscoe. Niggas. Born in April 4th, 1889. Roscoe. Roscoe Jerome Ski Sucks. Mulattoes. All mulattoes. All Negro features. Mulattoes. Chief Acum, and his now. Remember, they have their Indian name and their given English name. His Indian name is Chief Acum, Lemuel Fielding. He was a peace chief born in 1859. Lemuel was active in Boy Scouts, Mohegan Church, and Wigwam Committee. In 1921, he traveled to D.C. in an attempt to reclaim Royal Mohegan Burial Ground. Mulattoes. And then his son, Everett, was the son of Lemuel and Alice Fielding. He was born in 1887 and served as assistant chief of the Mohegan Indian Association before becoming tribal chief. Fielding was also active in the Wigwam Committee. He had one daughter, Elsie Lucille Fielding Eichelberg. Mulattoes. They're just mulattoes, baby. That's all. Now get your fucking laugh on, because we're about to end it in a minute. Get your laugh on regarding President Andrew Jackson's militia. Now should be a laugh for y'all. Now y'all know Andrew marched up there with a bunch of niggas. Jackson's total of 4,732 men was made up of, listen y'all, 968 Army regulars, 58 Marines, holding the center of the defense line, 106 Navy seamen, 1,060 Louisiana militia and volunteers, including 462 black people, 1,352 Tennessee militia, 986 Kentucky militia, 150 Mississippi militia, and 52 Choctaw warriors, along with a force. Yo, get your fucking laugh on, because he had all niggas backing him up, talking about 462 black people. Well, you ain't have no damn 58 whites, 168 Navy seamen, and 1,060 people from Louisiana. Man, them all niggas. From Tennessee, 1,352. Them was all niggas, all Indians. 986 Kentucky militia and 150 Mississippi. There ain't nothing but Indians out there. And 52 Choctaw were, boy, bye. Every last one of them, he had niggas march with him. Next door, they stupid. Andrew Jackson had all niggas with him. That's how he was able to take over the South. That treaty. Now, when you look at these, the Pequots, heavily Negroes, heavily brown Indians. Let's call them who they are. They're the Pequots. I'm saying it now. And then you got the Narragansetts, who are loaded with mulattoes. But when you go back to the war days before the peace treaty was made, all niggas. All niggas. That's why they have Negro features so many years. Now, we're talking, let me see, 1636. Let me see. We're talking 387 years ago. 387 years ago, their ancestors, why they look mulatto, that's why. Because their ancestors were Negroes. Remember, they had the black governors thing and everything coming down from Mass. It started there, down into Connecticut. That was Indians that transitioned over in the 1700s. Now, 387, you look at them Narragansetts now. They're mulattoes. Go all the way back 387 years ago from the war, they were Negroes. They were Negroes. They looked like me and you fighting. And later on, you know, when the years went on, we're talking 400 freaking years later, damn near. But they still maintain those Negro features. I don't give a damn if they're light. They still got their massive Negro features. You put some brown foundation powder on all of them, they look like they niggas. They look like their original ancestors. Don't play with me. And the shit that was done as they conquered, you were threatened. Once they conquered you, you're no longer a Pequot. You better not mention that name. That's the same thing they did down south with all those thousands of tribes, the Petey's, all of them. You couldn't say it. You had to say you was a Negro or colored. Just like here. Just like Rodney told you. The Pequots told you. They had to say they was black in order to live. And that treaty, you see who signed it. The Narragansetts and the Mohawks. The Mohawks used to be part of the Pequots. There was no Mohawks. That's a new name. When they separated from the Pequots, they became the Mohawks. Because they fought with the Narragansetts to take out the Pequots. And there was other tribes up further in Maine and stuff that helped too. It took a lot to get them Pequots out because they were fierce. They had a crazy ass army and everything. They did not fuck around. The Pequots. So half of their brethren, who are the Mohawks, before they was Mohawks, they was Pequots. They separated from them and then took alliance with the Narragansett and the English to take out the Pequots. And then when they took them out, the Pequots had to say they was black, honey. And why would the Pequots have to say they're black? Question. Why would the Pequots have to say that? They have to say they black. In the 1600s, they had to say that they were black because they were niggas. Hello, fire. That was the threat. They did. They literally had to say that they were black after they were conquered in the 1600s. They could not say that they were Pequot. It was death to them if they did. They had to say that they were black. Well, gee, don't you got to look like me in order to be called black? That's because all of them was niggas. Bam. There it is. And that's the same thing they did down south. Wait till we get to them southern treaties. I got them all. So many of them. They had to say they was black. You better say you black. What do you think they did to us? Why do you think we had those identities? I call you black and nigger and stuff. Because your tribe was conquered and took over. So you had to say your ass was black. If you didn't, they was going to hang you, burn you, do everything. Sign that up for the pictures you hanging up of those Negroes. Those are not Africans. And did you notice through this whole reading and this whole treaty in the 1600s that was signed by the Narragansetts, the English, and the Mohawks against these Pequots, not one fucking Moor or African was mentioned. Fire, please. Not one Moor or African mentioned. I'm done. Just like Pan-African is dead, so is Moorism. I showed you. Let me tell you why Moor wasn't mentioned back then. Because that shit didn't come up until the motherfucking 20th century. 20th century. That's why. There's no fucking Moorish empire over here. Not one African mentioned through that whole fucking war where the Narragansett and the Mohawks and the English was fighting the motherfucking nigga Pequots. Not one African mentioned. Not one. Not even in the treaty. Go back here and remind you again. These are not Africans. A treaty was signed in 1636 for these niggas, Negroes, blacks. They had to say they was black. That's why they had to say they was black. Because they're what you call us today. Again, these are not Africans. These are not African Americans. No, they wasn't even mentioned. These are the descendants of those Pequots from the 1600s where they made them say that they was black in order to survive and live. The only way they could make you say that, you had to look like us. Don't play with me ever again. They didn't make them say they was African. They didn't make them say that they was, they didn't make them say that they was no fucking Moors, because they're not. They ain't got shit to do with no fucking Moors. The Moors didn't come until fucking 300 years later. Goddamn 20th century. Get your ass back. These are Negro Indians, baby. Real ones. This was their land here in Hartford. Big Mama in the middle. Everybody got a nana look like her. Don't play with me. Their area, just like they said, the pseudo government stepped in because they were supposed to be running it. They had to say that they was black to live. I'm done. I'm done. So there's your Treaty of Hartford. That was the Treaty of Hartford. To declassify the Treaty of Hartford was to literally to declassify the Pequots, because the Pequots was Hartford's. Hartford's was the Pequots. It's over. Pan-Africanism is dead. Moors dead. Now, look, they practice Moors religion. That's fine. Nothing against anyone that wants to practice a religion. That's cool. But just don't get religion mixed up with identity. That's all I'm saying. I don't care if you're Buddha or Christian or anything, Muslim, Sunni, I don't care. Practice, because it makes you feel good. If that's what you practice and that's what makes you feel good and that's what makes you get by day to day, you worship and practice who you wish. That's your right. You got a right to. You got a right to be a Sunni. You got a right to be a Nation of Islam. You got a right to be any and worship any way you want. All I'm just saying is just don't get religion mixed up with identity. These are Pequots, baby. Pequots. I'm gonna damn, I can't believe I was going for an hour and a half already. 7:30. I'm gonna open up the panel. I would like your feedback on this. Really, I want to hear your feedback. I'm gonna put the link in the chat and give you a few minutes to hop up here. Let me get this copy. Let me get this in the chat. Yeah, smash the like button, please. Please smash the like button, because I want to hear your feedback. And I'm gonna do a different treaty every day. I'm gonna do one in the north and one in the south. One in the north, and I think because that's what's gonna make it work. That's what's gonna make it work. The link is in the chat. I'll give you a few minutes to come up here. Come on, damn it! Why won't this? I hate when this happens. Somebody type something. This is in my okay. Now it's out my way. Let me pin it to the top. Pin the message. All right, I'm going to take like a 60-second break. The link is pinned to the top. Just sit back there for a minute, y'all, while I go get my little ladies break, and I'll be right back. And I hope, you have questions, the dialogue. Real dialogue. Give me a minute, y'all. I'm going to take a nice little ladies break.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far away I come from. sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays, I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days, I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So you don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all they stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
All right, y'all. Seems like y'all don't got no questions. No dialogue, no nothing. Hey, I'm observing the facts. Hey now, free proper facts. Shamel Thomas. Shout out Aborigines, Copper Aborigines, Warish. Nobody has any questions or nothing to say. I hate to end the segment. Y'all never do. I always get the weirdo to come up here. Nobody. Darius, hi. What do y'all think? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? And, the North and the South and me, coming to, I said, now I see why. Because we're the ones that marched up there. And we got the records, y'all. You can't lie. War records don't lie. When you're counting who Andrew took with him, Jackson, a bunch of niggas. I don't care if they was light-skinned. Yeah. Nobody has any questions? Raul Lamar, you smoking with my memory of my great-grandparents and great-uncles and aunts and my parents are weighing heavy on me right now. I apologize to y'all in the chat. My heat is in a dark place. I am so sorry. I pray for your strength, Copper Aborigines. I pray to the ancestors that you heal quickly and you gain strength. It has me. I know. I pray. Anybody have any questions? I'm not just going to sit up here and look like Goofy Girl. I can get real crazy, goofy looking. But if you don't have any questions, you guys, I'm going to go. If I don't know about the dialogue with, I read all that stuff, but I really want you to understand how our ancestors were threatened once they were conquered, once their area was conquered as Indians, a whole Indian tribe. Like, and I'm talking Yamasee, everywhere they were conquered, they were told. And believe me, it was written in treaty, written out. No more existence. That's what it was. You came back as a blackie. But see, now these blackies can step up. We got to step up. They did. What's the problem? The problem is us. And it always has been us. Every time someone like us step up to try to rectify the matter and reestablish the matter, us laugh at us. And that's it. It's not white people coming in our fucking YouTube saying, oh, you stupid, maybe one or two goofballs. But it's normally predominantly us. Oh, I did a lot of research on New London, honey. Trust me, boo-boo. I did. Whole lot. I know about New London with my eyes closed. Whole lot. Lots of records. Lots. Lots of friends in London, too. In them local towns. Trust. Got it all, boo-boo. Got it all. Let me tell you something about me. And this ain't no fucking joke. Being in the state 38 years. Do you know there's 169 towns? You know as well as I do, Free Papa. Obviously, you know about New London. Well, in Connecticut, period, as a state, there's 169 towns. Do you know I know every building official in each town personally? All 169 building officials in the local towns. And that ain't it. All 169 fire marshals by heart. I know all their names. Yeah. That's what happens when you work in a place for a very long time. You know all the people by heart. You know when they leave and retire and everything. Because you work with them. You have to make the changes of who the new person is. Facts. So Pan-Africanism is dead and Moorism is dead. It's just a religion. And at this point, if they're practicing, so what? Let them practice. They have a right to practice to be Moors. That is like so unimportant. They want to practice and be Moors, fine. That's cool. It's where their heart is. It's how they want to live their life. Being a Moor is a way of life. Sorry. But the treaties tell it all. All those treaties. All the treaties. Get all the treaties and read them all. Copyright to be funny. Get all the treaties. None of those treaties mentioned African Americans. It was all Negroes. A lot of them. Mm-hmm. The special, like I said, the very special thing about the treaties, you can't take the treaty away from the area in which it's treatified. If you're making a treaty with a specific Indian tribe, whether it's in the north or the south, the people that live in those areas are the Indians. It's only one person that needs to sign the treaty from the Indian tribe and the government that you're making the treaty with. That one person is representing that area of tribe members. Got them all. That's how you know you're the Indian you are. Because you would not live in that area that has a treaty. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, 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 woo. Y'all saying that girl crazy, right? Okay, I'm be the crazy lady. Woo. It's just something about that Negro wee wee. We got mulatto babies. We got all kinds of babies. The power is in the wee wee of the Negro back then. Just keep telling you, that's how you became the Indian. You got Negro features, so you're an Indian. The Narragansett You're an Indian of Narragansett with these heavy Negro features. You're light skinned and look like me. You're fucking light skinned and look like me. You go put on some copper colored brown mascara, which I don't wear none of that shit. I'm natural. And you're just light skinned. Just throw some damn brown mascara on and you're gonna look like me. And if I do like this, guess what? There you got the original Asian. If I do this, that's the original Asian. Hello. Now I'm gonna get goofy until somebody come on the panel, then I'm gonna log off. This is how the original Asian looked. Asiacs. Hello. The original one. The original Asian looked just like this. Just like me. But no. Tomorrow I'm going to do a different treaty. I'm not going to tell you which treaty I'm doing. I wanted to be a surprise. But I got all of them. That's just Connecticut. So now tomorrow I'll do one for the South. The Treaty of the South. And you're going to know them just niggas. Negroes. You hear, Sister Bethy, how you... I'm not yellow. I'm brown-skinned. I'm brown. Light brown, but I'm still brown. See? Shut up, homegrown. I'm light brown, but I'm not dark. I'm light brown. No, Sachi. I'm going to do a different one. But it's going to be the South. I'm going to surprise you. But I wanted to do that one first so you can see, you know, Sachi, I did the North first because it started in the North with the takeover. And I want you to know, I literally showed you that one. So you'll know that they made you say you were black. When they conquered you, you could not say the tribe you were. That's why I did that whole segment, that whole treaty, because they wrote them in a treaty that they literally could not say they were Pequots. They had to say they were black to live. You don't think you had to do that too? That's why you got black and Negro. You had to. Yeah. We had to. That's what our ancestors went through. That's some crazy shit. Once they conquer you, ain't no fucking, you better not say it. You ain't no Yamasee. You ain't this. You ain't no Petey. You ain't no all those Indians. You ain't no Santee. You could not say it. You literally couldn't. Once they conquered over you and took your land. And it was our own people from the North that trampled up there and did this shit. And now I see why there's such, I couldn't put two and two together. And when you go back to the Indian Wars, now I see. So this is probably why they won't teach it in school. I think we should heal each other. I think we should heal each other. Because what we did when we came from the North, now I'm saying, speaking in that manner, because I was born and raised here. I wasn't born and raised in the South, but all my family was. All my family. Like I said, my family came to the North in 1929. Prior to that, straight in the South. They were not here. So now I see why I just could not put two and two together. Now I see why that issue is so heavy in the South. And I always hear a lot of Southern men say, y'all fucking mulattoes up there in the fucking North. I hear that a lot from Southerners. Even my family in the South say that shit. Y'all niggas down there in the North, y'all little half-breeds down there in the North think y'all smart and call us slow. And that's true. And that's what we got to stop because it's not true. People in the South are not slow. That far beyond. No, they are not slow. They got everything about our history. Their whole culture, the way they carry themselves is my history. So I have to look to the South because that's my culture. The way the folks act in the South, that's my culture. That's my history. That's my ancestry. I'm just here in the North, but I'm going South when I retire. I can't wait to go. Yeah. So y'all don't got nothing. I'm just gonna sit up here and look goofy. But I really wanted you to see how you got your race identity. Now you see. Right? Facts. Kappa Aborigine. I love myself. Me too. I just love the South period. Point blank. Like I told that dude, like when they was arguing, like Brother Sanchez, I told him, right? Brother Sanchez had his brother on, and he was saying how the niggas in the North hate the South and stuff and all. I was like, wait a minute, hold up, back up. Because that is not true. That whole thing is not true. Because niggas in the North, when they get ready to go on vacation, the majority of them, we go south. That's vacation for us when we go south. That's like a treat and an honor. I go south when I go on vacation, down south. Facts. I'm not leaving this landmass ever. I don't want to go to no other landmass. I don't care if it's an island in part of North. I'm staying right here. I don't have to leave my landmass. I go south, that's vacation. That's like, to go south. But people in the South, they've been there all their life, so it's nothing to them. To me, it's everything. Sorry. But I had to check him at the door with that. For real. Not anybody in the North. Matter of fact, a country Southern boy love a city girl. Why? I don't know. That's just because they're opposites. Why? I don't know. And the same thing. A hood girl love a country Southern boy. Country boy. Because they're opposites. City girl, wild. Country girl. country girl is a perfect match for a city boy. For real. Because that's what they need. But we're going to, one way or the other, the North and the South is going to heal itself from those wounds. That's a heavy wound to heal, but now I get it and I understand it. We made us call each other what we are. You better not say you this. You better not say you that after they took us over. That's the shit they did to our ancestors. It's crazy to me. Crazy. I know you like the South, but there is a huge population of niggas that exited the West that people don't know about. But that's the French side of the history. Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. A lot of right. You're right. That's a part. I guess because I'm in the North, and so because I'm away from my home area, I'm so focused on the South. But I'll get to the Midwest one day, but I'm taking it. It's so many treaties. It's so many, y'all. So but I'm gonna read them. We're gonna go over them, and I'm gonna, at least I have something to talk about, and I'll let you know what treaty I'm talking about when I do my live. I'll put it as my thumbnail, the treaty. I'm not gonna tell you which one I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna surprise you, but it's gonna be one from the South. But anyway, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. It's almost 8:00. Smash the like button. But that get violent when someone disrespect their dark skinned relatives. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. That goes on in my family too. Like my nephew, like a straight up Italian, but he will beat your ass like the worst nigga in the world. 300 pounds. And he look like an Italian. He will flip the script on it, but we all look alike. Even though he looked Italian, he got the whole look. I mean, literally, look at, but we still look alike because our features are so strong. Yep. So I'm gonna go, you guys. No one has any questions. I'm gonna get out of here. I love you guys, and I hope you found this session very, informal, because now you know how you really, really, really got that race identity that you have. That black and that Negro and that color, it was enforced on us in a bad way, in a worse way, for real. But I love you guys. I'm out of this piece. See y'all tomorrow with a different treaty. Bye-bye.
Rather be alone in my zone writing poems. When I get in, I take a shower, read a book and feel empowered. Smoking on that sour got me counting down the hours, thinking of all the shit that they could do but won't allow us. Then I realize they all some fucking cowards. The world is ours. Me and my brother twin like the towers, and we want it now, never later. No more favors done with all these traitors who be haters on the low. They just hate to see you grow. So I'd rather be alone in my zone writing poems, cause I'm never on the road, and I'd rather stay at home. And life been moving fast lately, trying to get a grasp, and every day I'm mad lately. Never let it drive me crazy. You do this for my old lady, yeah.
They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. So let us breathe in.
See, ain't shit changed, but a bunch of people feel us. Reaching for the top, and now I ain't got no ceilings. Pour me up a cup or two so it can stop the bleeding. Roll me up a split or two, and now I'm hella weeded, cause I'm feeling like I want it, but I don't know if I need it. Took a few L's, but that nigga undefeated. Same shit, different day, why this so repeated? If we don't talk no more, it's probably cause I felt mistreated. Bad enough I don't hear excuses, trust me you could keep it. Saw it coming from a mile away once I peeped it. Caught up in that drama, mama, I don't get between it. They be trying to turn it on you, damn they really tweaking.
We broke, but we wealthy in ability and hopes fits. Bitch, no, we only need the brokerage. We only overage, overseeing all the dope shit. Killing these cats with they facilities. Flush down the drain, leaning through all 8 lives till that become they centerpiece. Unfold and be a masterpiece at half of all our faculties. We actually dope, we just don't know the half of we.
Just don't know the half of it.
They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak. So we just stay grinding, trying to hold our chips, and thank God for our chance to breathe. They told us stay quiet, better close your lips. We never thought we'd get our chance to speak.